about 20 billion. And interest plus capital for road fund is what is 15 billion.
Okay.
Any further question?
Yes. Honorable nominee, have you cited the presidential transition report on roads, and are you familiar with the figures in terms of certificate that is pending for the ministry to pay in terms of arrears? Have you cited it?
The interesting thing about certificates is that even if you were to go to the ministry today and they give you a sum of money as money they owe, in the morning, in the afternoon, you could find a different figure because contractors are working 24/7 and are raising certificates on daily basis. So they always say, this is as of the time they give us. So that is why I'm saying to you, from the document we cited from the transition team, which is a ministry document, the figures are what I've put out. It could end up being more than this, or unless maybe they paid some huge amount of money before producing this document, then it could be slightly less.
Okay.
Any further question?
Yes.
I think no. This is, please, the rule is that you ask one substantive question and you ask a follow-up. So this, so if you have done two, yes, no, you have a substantive question and a follow-up. Please, your last substantive question.
Okay, thank you. So, Honorable nominee, you and I know that the biggest challenge for the road ministry is in terms of funding gap. That is why each and every year they present their budget of about 16 or even sometimes beyond billion, but they ended up having only 4 billion. You are knowledgeable in that area. You have in-depth knowledge of the issues. What do you plan practically to do to address this funding gap issue that has bedeviled this ministry and making...
Majority Chief Whip, Minister Designate for Roads and Highways, have been sitting close to 2 hours. Can we make progress? With all due respect, can we make progress? The preliminary issues have taken close to 2 hours, which should not be the case. So, Honorable Chief Whip, I plead with you to give me the opportunity to continue with the proceedings. You will have your turn very soon. So, Honorable Shaibu, please proceed.
Own money, not borrowed money. How do we fund this? If you speak to the former Minister of Roads and Highways, Honorable Makwata, you are aware we were close to having a national dialogue on how to fund roads and make it open to Ghanaians. How much can we pay to be able to get the quality of roads we need? Unfortunately, that engagement never took place before he left. And the new minister, our colleague in Parliament, Honorable Asenso, was also in the process. So there's a cohort of people who believe that we should engage Ghanaians on how we fund roads. Together with the committee and the Ministry of Finance, I think we should be plain to Ghanaians. We need to open up the discussion about how we fund roads in our country and make sure whatever agreement we have, the monies are applied. I have argued, and you know about it, when we tell people pay road tolls, and the people pay road tolls, and you take more than half of that money to do free SHS. If you want money for free SHS, ask for money for free SHS. I'm not saying free SHS is not necessary. But when you take money for road, apply that money for road interventions. So as long as we can do this and be open and honest to Ghanaians, whatever they agree, we apply to the roads, and then we can get some improvement. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Yes, your last supplementary question.
Yes. Honorable nominee, will you consider adopting a negligence liability period in our road contract to ensure that contractors who does shoddy jobs are taken on and ensure that they do the right thing. Will you consider that?
Chairman, there are various reasons why we see what we call shoddy works on our roads. Many things account for that. Sometimes it's not even the knowledge of the contractor. Indeed, there is always that 12-month defect liability period on construction projects. But sometimes, especially if you watch asphaltic overlay, it embellishes the problem so neatly for few months that you may never know what is beneath. But after a few months, you realize that it has failed completely. Not only the contractors. I'm an architect by profession. If I practice elsewhere outside this country, the employer insists I take professional indemnity insurance before I touch his or her work. I.e., so if the work fails, he can draw on the professional indemnity to get some compensation. Is it time for consultants taking on huge government contracts to take the appropriate indemnity to cover the services they are providing? Because the Ghanaian doesn't understand why you would do a project in his backyard, a road to say, and 6 months, the rain washes the whole thing away, and then we are looking for another money to come and start. So it will be a combination of these things. I've heard people talk about increase the defect liability period to 24 months. That will not necessarily solve the problem. The problem is that we need to build the capacity and put some of the risk on the back of the consultants and others, but also to encourage government to pay contractors and consultants on time to be able to execute the works within schedule.
Honorable nominee, I wish you well.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of Honorable Omar.
Thank you, Chairman. My good friend, Kwame, Honorable Kwame Agbodza, congratulations. I have a question on funding, especially having listened to you about the huge... Thank you for correcting. Haven't listened to you about the huge indebtedness in the road sector. How do you intend to meet the expectations of Ghanaians, especially the new roads that we expect you to construct, particularly the Eastern Corridor, beginning from the Temamoto all the way to Yendi? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I acknowledge that I come into this role with huge expectation, starting from colleagues. On record, the road minister answers the largest number of questions in Parliament, more than any minister. And I must commend Honorable Makwata for that diligence. As long as he's available on Fridays, he'll come and answer the questions. And I used to tease him that as for answering the question, he will answer. As of whether he will do the road is another matter, because of the same thing you are talking about. Well, the president who appointed me has made one solemn promise. That is to be candid with the people of our country. So wherever we are doing anything, you let the people know. Indeed, we are not going to find it easy to satisfy everybody in terms of how quickly the road leading to the places we live are done. But what we are committed to is to make sure that whatever resources we have and apply to the road interventions, we'll make sure everybody understands what is in the kitty and what we can get. When my boss, the majority leader, sat in this chair, he painted another figure, which is something we should all be thinking about. As you know, as part of the debt restructuring, government postponed a chunk of our repayment or interest until this year. One bullet payment was just done a few weeks ago when the former finance minister told us. But there are bigger ones ahead of us that we must clear. So we would spend whatever is available to be spent on the road. But as of where we find the money, that is the responsibility of the finance minister to carry. My job is to package projects, make sure they meet value for money, and his job is to fund it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yes. If a follow-up, you are entitled to.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Nominee, will you consider new funding methods, at least for us to have either a BOT or PPP routes from Accra to Kumasi, where individuals or road users will be paying using per usage, something like the one we have in the developed country, 10 pikes, so that it can help us speed up transportation network in Ghana.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I gave an indication regarding that when I spoke about the reintroduction of road toll. But I know funding would go beyond just road tolls. And so we are going to consider all those things, including other sources. But like I said, it is not for me to state all the sources that would accrue to road funding. That is the job of the finance minister. I was happy you mentioned Eastern Corridor as one of the things the president actually committed to. It's a project in 6 lots. I think half or so have been done. But from the motorway, actually, okay, you were not there. My colleagues, we approved a loan to a company called Inzac. I'm sure they all got caught up in the debt restructuring. So if you go there, the contractors appear to be working, but the rate at which they are working isn't encouraging. So we have our work cut out to make sure we turn things around, and we are committed to doing that. Thank you.
Thank you. You are done. Thank you. You want one more, then your last question.
Thank you. Mr. Nominee, the President Akufo-Addo disclosed in his 2023 State of the Nation address that his government has constructed 11,974 kilometers of new road. I come from a rural constituency, Zabzugu. We have a lot of rural challenges. I don't see it. And I want to find out from you, is this true